Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, where I'm off to the lair to meet Miller Kreyzel and his gang of thieves who still have Henry convinced that they're trying to create a golem made of flour to help around the mill. I mean, based on the ingredients that they've had Henry gather, it's fairly obvious that they're making gunpowder. But this is 1403. Henry wouldn't have known that, so it's understandable if he still believed the cock and bull story that Miller Kreyzel's been spinning him, that they are in fact making a golem based on ancient Jewish Kabbalistic rituals. Golems were a Jewish invention, by the way. But we're not making a golem. We're making gunpowder. And based on the volume of materials that Kreyzel's had us picking up, we're making a lot.
What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one but very filling course, awaits us.
Kreyzel, please. For once, just once, tell me what's actually going on.
And rob myself of enjoying your blissful ignorance? Not a chance. Tell me yourself, what do you think is going to happen?
Like always. You'll send me off somewhere to look for something, and you'll have a fancy speech to go with it.
He knows you now as well as we do, Miller.
I do tend to do that, true enough. But no, today things will be different. Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understood my teachings. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth.
Not yet. Let's pull up that uppity bastard's leg a bit longer. That's the fun part.
One more word, Zinek, and you'll get one on the nose.
Calm down, friend. I'm just kidding. Tell him then, Bonnie.
This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was.
The miller here calls it tackets.
Tactics, you idiot. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. With the help of Hermes Trismegistos and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists. Our magnum opus.
Exactly, Bonnie.
Magnum opus. A great work of alchemy. You're trying to make the Philosopher's Stone.
I see you've learned something after all. But no, the Philosopher's Stone isn't our goal.
Let's see then, Henry. What is it you think we're making here?
The Philosopher's Stone was the ultimate objective of most medieval alchemists. It was an object that was supposed to have the power of turning base metals into gold.
The most precious metal of all. Gold.
Well, Henry's not too far from the truth after all, don't you think? Attempts to create gold started it all, but it ended up a little differently. Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested in the trade. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating everything living and dead. And I had a lot of questions about everything. Then my mother, God rest her soul, decided it'd be best for me to go to study in Prague. As soon as I grew up and gained a bit of sense, I packed my bags and left.
Well, keep it short, Kreyzel. I don't need to hear your life story.
You won't know the context. But very well, as you wish. I didn't finish studying at the university, but I fell into alchemy. And when I returned to the mill, I started doing my own experiments. Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning next to me. A gust of wind scattered the mixture, and all of a sudden, bang! I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then I realized I'd unwittingly created a miracle. Explosive black powder.
What is it? So it burns?
More than that, it makes a big bang.
A very big bang. But don't worry, we're all in on it now.
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own, but Bonnie and Zinnik did a few little jobs for me.
So he initiated us.
But we just still didn't know how to do it right and not blow ourselves up in the process.
And we used up a huge amount of saltpeter and sulfur.
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Kuttenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few of my former fellow students and brought it up with them. And we found out that before us, some monk had already made the discovery.
Some fella called Black Bertold, and that he even started writing a book called
Feuerwerkbuch.
We couldn't believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here at Trotsky.
And you know the rest.
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make miracles happen. All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the old world order. It will wipe out stupidity and ignorance, once and for all.
And what will happen now?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. A feast of smoke and fire. Black Bertold never finished his book, because he never had enough ingredients for his last great experiment. But now, thanks to you, we do. We can finally finish Bertold's work and finish his book. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do. I hope you're as excited as I am.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that with my own eyes.
Let's do it then. Bonnie, is everything ready?
Indeed it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world.
Oh, that is a lot of black powder. That's an entire barrel of black powder. Did you know the Swiss were still using black powder service revolvers as late as the early 1970s? I think it was the model of 1882, 7.5mm cartridge, a bit underpowered, but not gunpowder, not smokeless powder, black powder. Still using it in the 1970s before it was finally retired from service. Yeah, Bonnie's got the right idea. Oh, do you like Henry's new clown hat? He's had an armour upgrade. I call it the clown hat because it's like in World of Warcraft. It doesn't matter how stupid it looks, if it's got good stats, you wear it. Oh shit. Here it goes. You might want to be standing further away than that, by the way. Don't go near it.
Looks like it ain't working.
I think it is. I told you Bonnie had the wrong idea. That's a really expensive way to cut down a tree.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What? I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
So, now we've learned about gunpowder, specifically black powder. And now we've just gotten ourselves a recipe for lead-shot gunpowder. Because there are guns in this game.
If my ears ever stop ringing!
Sounds like Henry's hearing's coming back. So, yeah, there are... I mean, this is 1403. Gunpowder weapons were in use in Europe from the 1300s. These are the 1400s. So they are available. I actually have a bunch of crafting recipes that I probably should learn. As well as the lead-shot gunpowder, I've got knight's horseshoes, knight's sword, and broad axe recipes. There we go, lead-shot gunpowder, water, sulphur, saltpeter and charcoal. So I can now make this. Gunpowder was actually invented in China as early as the 9th century. Although the knowledge of gunpowder didn't really make it until Europe until around about the 13th century, possibly due to the Mongol invasions. A lot of people will try to tell you that the Chinese, despite having the knowledge of gunpowder for a good 500 years before Europeans, never actually used it for warfare, instead just using it for things like fireworks. That is bullshit. The Chinese were using gunpowder as early as the 10th century for things like fire arrows, bombs, and the sort of very early predecessor of the gun, a device that was known as a fire lance, which was basically a polearm with a gunpowder barrel on the end of it. It was a very, very primitive early gun. But it is certainly true that it wasn't until gunpowder reached Europe that the whole thing was really militarised. I mean, the Chinese had the stuff, but its use was fairly uncommon. Black powder gunpowder was around in the time that this game was set, 1403, but it wasn't really until the 1500s when it started to become commonplace on European battlefields. Well, that's pretty much all of my side quests completed. Now the only thing remaining to do is what we came here for in the first place. Well, sort of. We've delivered our message to Lord von Bergov, but he wants us to scratch his back before he's prepared to scratch ours. He wants us to help him with his bandit problem, and admittedly his bandit problem was also our bandit problem. To that end, he wants to send us down to, well, I say us, he's sending hands, and I'm just tagging along, down to Castle Nebakov to speak to one of his vassals, which is why he's sending hands, because you don't send a nobody like me to speak to a nobleman, to remind him of his feudal responsibilities to provide troops, so that Lord von Bergov can root out these bandits once and for all. And with that done, he will then be prepared to discuss terms for throwing his hand in with us. And when I say us, I mean the Lords of Lipa. The Czech nobility are split into two at the moment. You have the League of Lords on one side, supporters of the usurper King Sigismund of Hungary, the brother of the rightful, if completely crap and useless King Wenceslas, who is supported by the Lords of Lipa, who we represent. Von Bergov is the Lord Chamberlain of King Sigismund, so if we can get him on side, it'll be a major coup.
Well, shall we set off for Nebakov? I don't think I could tolerate another day under one roof with that idiot Schomburg.
Ah, fuck him. We're here on account of von Bergov. I have a feeling he won't be giving him a pat on the back either for the way he treated us.
I suppose you're right. But I won't be fucking humiliated. A jump-top tosser like that isn't going to get high-handed with the Lord of Perkstein.
I agree. Although, the Lord of Perkstein can also act pretty haughty at times.
Look, I know I behaved like an idiot, but...
There's a romantic option with hands? I don't think so.
Nah, don't worry about it. It's water under the bridge.
I'm in your debt. Talking of debts, there's one more we need to settle. Both of us. That herbwoman, Bożena, really helped us after that ambush. If it hadn't been for her, we wouldn't have survived.
Aye. You're right.
I gave her my word. And the word of a noble must be kept, as we both know.
Don't worry about it. I took care of it on behalf of both of us.
You did? My word, Henry. You are a true bellator. Only half by birth, but your heart is filled with blue blood.
Thanks, Hans.
How is she getting on, actually? I hope she hasn't had any trouble on account of us.
Not on account of us, no. But... well, it's a complicated story. And not a pleasant one.
Jesus. I'm sorry to hear that. But right now, I'm not in the mood for sad stories. You can tell me another time, but now Nebakov awaits us. It's high time we set out so we can get back before nightfall. Carpe diem.
I'm ready.
Let's mount up then.
There's actually some very good quests involving Bożena the Herbwoman and her daughter, which I haven't shown here on YouTube because, I mean, there has to be some content here for you to discover yourself when you play the game. But they're definitely worth doing. You end up discovering exactly why it is that she lives out in the middle of nowhere rather than in Troskowitz.
It's nice to be out under the open sky. I was feeling really cramped in those gloomy corridors up there. But I can't deny this is a real fucking castle. I've never seen anything like it before. Perkstein is just a little fortress in comparison. Von Bergov certainly knows how to make an impression.
That's true. Von Bergov must be loaded.
I expect the office of the Royal Chamberlain is a nice earner. Or maybe he shits gold ingots.
It certainly is an expensive castle. It'd be a nightmare to assault. And it's a real one too. And it still actually exists.
Fuck. This place makes me feel queasy. Memento mori. I could have croaked it. Gone off to join my old man in eternity. God rest his soul. And he'd ask me, "So, son, what great deeds have you achieved in life?" And I'd have to tell him, "Well, Pa, I fucked everything up royally, and then they hanged me for poaching." Christ on a stick. I can't have that. When I go to the next life, I need to have something better to tell. A whole lot better. We turn right here.
I was thinking about our mission. What do you think of our prospects with von Bergov?
Well, we haven't got off to the best start, have we? But I'll do everything in my power to ensure we succeed. Hanush, Radzig and Jobst are depending on us. If they thought it was a lost cause, they wouldn't have sent me. They'd have sent, you know, someone less important. That's diplomacy in a nutshell. If you're serious about something, you send someone important to add gravity and show respect.
And why am I here?
Maybe it's already known that you're Radzig's son and ward. So not just Hanush, but Radzig too sent someone important to him. That speaks for itself.
Interesting idea. I like it. I feel a bit better. Like I belong somewhere and can do something big.
Exactly. Nobility brings responsibility. Never forget that.
I'm glad you feel better.
So am I, my friend. So am I. We still have lots to do before we go back to Ratai. And I was afraid, you know, that I'd fuck it up. And I almost did. But I'm not afraid anymore. Now I see it as an opportunity and a challenge. Any old fool can manage simple tasks. But hard ones, they require a man like Sir Hans Capon of Leipa and Perkstein.
And Henry of Skalitz.
Aye, he faces the hardest tasks of all.
Yeah, having to put up with your shit. Can't wait to see how he fucks this up.
So, we're here. What now, Sir Hans?
Now, I expect someone will come to greet us. And hopefully not like they did in Trotsky.
Hey, so Yaromir don't receive visitors. You'll have to leave.
I beg your pardon. See to it that he receives me immediately.
Can't be done. Sorry about that.
I am Sir Hans Capon of Leipa, and I am here with a message from Lord von Bergov. So get to it. And if you keep me waiting here much longer, you'll be sorry.
Please be patient for a while, sir.
My word. You got a sharp tongue sometimes. But what if he won't receive us?
He will. Just wait and see.
He'd better. We're bearing a message from his liege lord, so snap to it.
Come along. Sir Yaromir will be here any moment.
See?
The Lord Jesus Christ be praised.
Forever and ever.
Please excuse our precautions, gentlemen. These are evil times. Well then, Yaromir of Nebakov at your service. And whom do I have the honor of welcoming to my humble seat?
Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein. I am honored, Sir Yaromir. Sir Otto von Bergov asked me to convey to you his cordial greetings, and to parley with you in the matter of the security of this domain.
Certainly, certainly. These are troubled times indeed. Please accept my hospitality, sir. You're surely thirsty after your journey, and you'll have greater comfort in the tower.
An excellent idea. If I may ask that our horses may not be neglected either.
Pelzel, you heard his lordship.
But I've already got 15 animals to deal with. Why doesn't Hurtle do it?
Hurtle has other duties. Stop griping and get to it.
15 horses! My word, sir. You must be doing all right for yourself.
Not entirely. But fortune smiled on me for once at least.
On me too, one could say. I suppose she's doing the rounds in these parts. So, tell me, sir, how did you achieve what you have?
Well, it's a long, complicated story. But I'm guessing von Bergov didn't send you here to find out how well off I am. Or did he?
No, he didn't. I apologize, Sir Yaromir. So, let's proceed to the real reason he sent us. Henry, be prepared. I won't keep Sir Yaromir very long.
Certainly.
Michael, you take Henry here under your wing and make sure he's well taken care of.
Certainly. Henry, eh? Michael's my name, and I welcome you to our little place. It's not the fanciest fortress ever, but you know, I like it here. It serves us well. How was your journey? All good?
It was fine.
Aye. Lovely country. A feast for the eyes.
Well, that's nice to hear, especially from someone from far-off parts. But I must say, my throat is dry. And maybe yours too, eh? Come along with me. We'll soon fix that. I'll make you feel at home and we can have a chat. As I said, the fortress may be small, but the work never stops. Right now, we're repairing the fortifications down there, so don't get under the lad's feet. But you can drop in on Pelzel and check how he's looking after your horses. We're rolling some dice, eh? We've got none of guesswork, so don't all be shy. Invite him to play if he finds himself at a loose end. At least he'll show you how your betters play.
Right you are, Michael. You can rely on me.
And you, Ertl, have you got shit for brains? You've got a guess, for fuck's sake.
I'm sorry, Michael. I didn't know.
Shut your gob and attend to your duties.
Right, I'm going.
So you've heard then. I hope you won't disappoint Sverk and pass some time
You have a
with him.
kind master. Eh? Come on.
I'd love to have a game.
Glad to hear it. You're a good lad. I can tell just by looking at you. Zwerk has some polished badges. I'm sure he'd love to take a look at yours. You'll find him over there at the table. He's there pretty much all day. I'll keep telling him. Your arse will wear a hole down there one day, and you'll fall down.
Are you being cautious
Dice and all.
cowardly?
But now to the important business. There's a bite to eat on the table and something to wash it down with, so help yourself. And I'll be happy to chew the fat. I'm sure you've got loads of stories.
Well, they all seem pretty friendly here. My first task is to get to know this guy, Michael, the adjutant.
I heard Lord von Bergov himself sent you. So, what has he sent you with?
You seem all right, Michael, but that ain't none of your business.
That's for their lordships to know. Not me.
Aye. No one tells us commoners anything. Typical lords. But you must have heard something. You know how it goes. You've got ears, ain't you?
He seems very curious.
I've got ears, but I don't crouch at keyholes.
All right, I didn't mean to offend you. Tell me one thing, though. Why didn't von Bergov send one of his own instead of some Lord of Perkstein and his escort?
Well, I suppose he wanted to show respect to Lord Yaramir. So he didn't send just anyone.
Ah, the way of the nobles. Not something I know much about, but you do, it seems. So your master, Lord Capon of Perkstein, is somehow significant.
He does ask a lot of questions, doesn't he?
One day he'll inherit several castles and a lot of wealth.
Well, best stick with him until that happens. And you're his what? Page? Servant?
His escort. I give advice when he asks for it, but mostly I take care of his security.
Fair enough. I get it. I used to travel with Lord Yaramir, but he barely travels these days, so I don't get out much.
Lord Capon is always getting up to something.
Well, I envy you a bit. But hey, we've had a nice chat. And since you're here, what would you say to a bit of a friendly duel? You've got time to kill, and me too. Let's do something to shorten it. We can do something dignified. We'll clash arms for the glory of our masters. You for yours, me for mine.
All right, sounds like fun.
I accept your offer. I'd fight for Lord Capon any time and any place.
Then you're the right man in the right place. Get your kit ready, and we can get stuck in.
There is actually something I'd like to ask. I need to find out about these horses for some reason.
I don't want to pry, Michael, but Sir Yaramir said he had some luck with horses. That sounds interesting.
Nothing interesting about it. His lordship's affairs are a long story, and a dull one at that.
Or in other words, none of your business. All right, fair enough.
If there's one thing Lord Capon taught me, it's that noblemen's affairs are never dull.
If you insist, well, you're in for a disappointment. There's nothing interesting about it. Sir Yaramir had these relatives, and they died, God rest their souls, and his lordship inherited some land, but they couldn't give it to him or something, so they gave him horses instead, to make up the amount owed. See? Complicated and dull, but all above board.
You were right. That's nobleman's business for you.
Just so.
Right, about this fight.
Let's do it, Michael.
You don't have to ask twice. We've got some blunt old weapons for practice here, so we'll use them. We don't want to hack each other to pieces, do we?
That's sensible.
We'll do it in the little courtyard behind the gate. Tell me what weapon you want, and we'll get cracking.
It's got to be sword.
Give me a longsword.
You must fancy yourself a master swordsman. I can't wait to see what you can do with it. Give me a moment. I'll put my gear on.
If you want to use the Master Strike, you have to be using a sword. Doesn't have to be a long sword.
then.
It can be a short sword, but it
Ready?
must be a sword.
Let's go. Glory to Lord Capon.
Let's see if I can remember how to do it. So you counter. There it is. You wait for him to attack.
Nebakov!
There we go. It's kind of like a block, except it's a preemptive attack. And it's basically an I win button. Yep. That's the Master Strike. They're usually off guard after you hit them with it. So you can get another strike in afterwards. Like that. Poor old Mickey here hasn't actually landed a single hit on me. Like I said, the Master Strike. Once you learn it from Tomcat, it's basically an I win button.
A good fight. An honourable.
Yeah, I'd say. I haven't had such a good stretch in a long time.
Lord Capon's honour has been defended.
That it has. Didn't expect you to take me down like that. All honour to you, Henry. Here you go. Something to remember Nebakov by on your journeys with Sir Capon. You won fair and square. If you're feeling a bit sore, go and see Clara. She'll be in that house beneath the smithy beyond the gate, I reckon. She'll be happy if you show her where it hurts. I might have said this already, but if you've got nothing on your plate, you can have a game of dice's work. Or try Pelzel in the stables. I'm sure he'd love to show you how we hold races to pass the time. And if you want to train some other battle skills, you can practice archery with Mark. I reckon you'll find him on the gate.
Alright, so plenty of things I can do to pass the time while I wait for Hans to finish his chinwag with Sir Jaromir, whatever the hell his name is. Oh, Forge. Let's talk to the blacksmith.
Good day. Did you get in a fight or what? There's blood all over you.
Yeah, don't worry, none of it's mine.
It's nice to meet someone from the trade. I'm also a blacksmith.
Is that so? Good lord, I wouldn't have expected that. You must have had a slice of luck to be hanging out with nobles. Me and my brother wanted to get out of the smithing trade, but something always brought us back. I'm Steer. Pleased to meet you, sir.
Henry. How's trade? The plates here. Is that your work?
Well, I wish. If I could make stuff like that, me and my brother wouldn't be stuck here. We just keep it in good nick. Mend it when the lads get it beat up, which they do all the time.
Tell me about it. I've straightened bent nails and knives and saws till I couldn't see straight. Folks don't take care of things, and then they're surprised.
You took the words out of my mouth. Then it's work from dawn to dusk, day in, day out. And if you saw the work waiting for me down below and in the tower, no end to it.
Hold on. I'll go down there and help you out. The work will go faster with an extra pair of hands.
No, don't go anywhere. What I mean is, thanks for the offer. But we can't have a guest working here, can we? And besides, you get in the way down there. They're working on the fortifications. Better go and play dice with Twerk or something. Make the most of your free time till your lord gets back.
All right. Whatever you say. I just wanted to help.
Oh, I know you did. But I can manage by myself. Really. Let's leave it at that.
Alright, that's kind of suspicious.
You said you have a brother.
Aye, they call him Bull. The poor bloke tries hard enough, but he ain't got the knack. So he just helps out where he can. Or he does any work that's needed. He's working below on the fortification repairs right now. He'd be better off learning a different trade. But times is hard. This way, at least we're together. That's the main thing. Have you got anyone next to you on life's journey?
They really don't want me going anywhere near the fort repairs.
The war took my parents. I was left alone.
Sacre. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know what I'd do if I lost my brother. He may be a bit simple, but he's kith and kin. Ah well. At least you've got your lord, eh? What's he like, actually?
brave, and just. Everything a knight should be. Every day I learn something new in his service.
He's got you well trained.
And what's your lord like?
My lord doesn't like it when folks talk about him behind his back. Better leave it at that. I reckon it's time I got back to work. Take care, sir.
That's twice now I've been told to stay away from the fortification repairs. I mean, Michael, the adjutant, just said, stay away from the fortifications. You don't want to be getting under the feet of the men working there. They're busy with repairs. But the blacksmith got really flustered when I suggested going down there to help out. And everybody keeps telling me to go and play dice with his work. What's going on down there that they don't want me to see? Everybody I speak to is just, shut up, sit down, eat, drink, and play dice with his work. I mean, ordinarily, you know, that's just hospitality, but it's the whole stay away from the fortifications thing that's, I don't know, something's going on. This must be Clara. Let's have a chat.
Well, I never. The great warrior himself has come to visit. I can't remember the last time anyone beat Michael. You didn't hold back.
Well, you didn't make it easy. And that's good. I don't like fighting with wretches who haven't a chance in hell.
It's a shame there aren't more like you. Now, let's have a look. What kind of hosts would we be if I sent you back to your lord in that state?
I am literally not even scratched.
Oh, thanks. Well, I certainly can't refuse care from a lovely lass like yourself.
But Henry does make a good point.
Well, I've done what I could. Better now?
Aye. Much better. Thanks a lot.
I'm glad. Will you tell me who you are?
Henry. Lord Capon's retainer. We're on a mission from Lord von Bergov.
Oh, I'm Clara. Nice to meet you, Sir Knight.
Oh, I'm not a knight.
I'm not a knight, actually.
Oh, how come? You look like one.
I'm just a man-at-arms.
Knights are a separate class. Not every noble with a sword is a knight, you know.
Please, explain it to me then.
Knight is the title of part of the lower nobility, but that doesn't mean that they're genuine dubbed knights. To be dubbed a knight, take the oath and so on, you first have to serve as a page for some time. And then you perform some great feat, like heroism in battle, and only then are you rewarded with knighthood.
My word, I had no idea it was that complicated. I'd love to hear more, but I have to go and get some more herbs. I'm running low. Would you like to come with me and maybe tell me something about yourself?
Sounds more interesting than playing dice with his work.
I'll be happy to. At least I'll get to explore the Nebakov surroundings.
The countryside's pretty round here, but it won't be a long walk. I'll just pick some herbs in the glade. Shall we go?
Although it does occur to me, everybody seems remarkably keen to just
Our little fortress doesn't impress you much, I suppose.
keep me occupied.
You must be used to real castles. Actually, that's why I'm so pleased you're here. A bit of excitement at last. Tell me more about knights, or better still, about yourself. Where have you been? What have you seen?
And now that you mention castles, I conquered one once. The enemy took it by a ruse, and we couldn't let that go unanswered. I found a great scholar and got him to build us a trebuchet. Then we bombarded the castle. But they didn't surrender. So brute force was required. Smash down the gate, ladders up to the ramparts, and so on.
Aye, when brains fall short, brawn has to step in. Tell me more, please.
In the hills above Sasau River, I discovered the enemy's hidden camp. I told the lords about it, and they assembled a force. Just like Lord von Bergov is doing now. We approached under cover of darkness and attacked.
Clever. And how did it work out? Do tell.
It was indeed clever. But not on our part, unfortunately. The enemy learnt we were coming. So while we were in the field, they seized one of our unguarded castles.
I'd rather not hear what happened next. Storming castles tends to be a bloody business. Thank you for telling me your stories.
I'm sorry.
It's nothing like my life. I just patch up the lads when they come back cut up and bruised, like last time. But I have other talents too.
I am not unaware of the irony that when Michael starts pressing me for information, I tell him to shut up and mind his own business. But Clara just has to look at me and I'm blabbering everything that I know. I know. But I mean, you know, she seems nice. I know that's no excuse. What can I say?
This really is a lovely spot. If it was up to me, I'd just lie down in the grass and take it easy. But I can't.
Why not?
I have to gather herbs to treat the wounded. When the ointments and concoctions run out, they reach for the liquor. And if his lordship found out I was dawdling, he'd have my guts for garters.
Does Sir Yaramir treat you badly?
Not at all. He's a good master, but strict, I can't lie. Still, now you're here, you can help me with those herbs. Then maybe we'll find a moment.
For dawdling? I can.
Maybe I'll tell you some stories in return.
I know quite a bit about herbs, I think. So just tell me what's wrong with your lads, and I'll come up with a remedy.
Really? So tell me how to treat fever, say, or shortness of breath.
In that case, you'll need sage and chamomile, maybe some poppy or marigold, am I right?
Aye, exactly right. I've got enough chamomile. It's the rest I need. Above all, the marigold. Since you know all about it, you'll be back in a jiffy, won't you? It all grows in the glade here, but sometimes it takes a while to find.
I think I'll manage.
Well, it's true that Henry's a herbalist, but that doesn't mean I am. Chamomile. Okay, she didn't actually need the chamomile. I'll take it anyway because I can use it. Turns out I do already have poppies on me. Marigold, I have 4. I need another 4. Marigold's orange, isn't it? Yeah, that's marigold there. Yes. Okay, now I need... what was it? Sage. I think sage is purple. The thing is, there's a lot of purple plants, but some of them are just decorative. You can't actually... thistle, for example. I mean, I don't need thistle. Not for Clara, but I can always use it. And there are some... there we go, sage. Sometimes there are like bunches of purple flowers that are basically just decorative. You can't actually harvest them or anything. Okay, that's everything we needed. Where did she go? Oh, there she is.
I've got everything.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot. You've really helped me out.
You promised you'd tell me something.
I will, don't worry. But first I want to show you something. Hurry.
Hurry where? Really? Really? We're playing chasey chasey, catchy catchy, kissy kissy. Is that really what's happening here? It is, isn't it?
Now tell me what's so important that you couldn't tell me back there in the glade.
I wanted to give you a riddle.
A riddle? Why?
You'll know soon enough. Now listen. I bloom in silence, a petal's grace, a delicate charm in a hidden place, a whispered scent, a subtle ploy. What am I, elusive and coy? Solve this riddle, unlock the joy.
I don't think I can say this is a family show. She's talking about her foo-foo.
The only petal I see here is called Clara.
The right answer. And now for your reward.
Wait, really? Holy crap. Really?
I hope they didn't hear us in the fortress. People wouldn't half talk. If you're as good as that on the battlefield, may God have mercy on your enemies.
I'm not so considerate on the battlefield, because as a true knight, I must do everything I can for a damsel in distress.
You'll soon be a begging knight if you carry on like that.
What do you mean?
Well, I can grind the seeds and the like, but not every damsel in distress knows the recipe.
I suppose we should go back.
Well, can't be helped. Pass me my clothes, please.
Sure. I should get dressed too.
Farewell for now, Henry, and thanks
for your help.
Well, that was unexpected. I thought she was leading me off to tell me something about what's going on in the castle. But instead she just... Well, it beats playing dice with his work. But it's basically the same thing. Everybody's just keeping me occupied and stopping me from looking at whatever the hell's going on in the fortifications that they're supposedly repairing. Groom Peltzel. Apparently he's a quest objective as well. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to talk to him to stick my nose into how his lordship ended up with so many horses. Hey, hang on. What's that villager doing? Which villager? Somebody's talking to me. This guy wants me to go and help him pick up some deadwood in the forest. That doesn't sound suspicious at all. Alright.
Well,
It's worth checking out. I need to be careful though. I mean, he's unarmoured and he might have a knife on him, but other than that, he's basically unarmed. But that doesn't mean he's not leading me into an ambush or something. There are men at arms about, so I should be careful. But the one thing I am pretty sure of is that he's not leading me out here into the woods to pick up some deadwood. So whatever's going on here, it's probably something that I definitely want to do.
It's a good thing you're here, sir. You ain't local, are you? I've never seen you or the other gent who came with you.
That's right. We're not from round here. We came to see Sir Yaramir on Lord von Bergov's business.
That's just it. I ain't seen Sir Yaramir in ages. Them new men-at-arms are in charge now. They told us they're Sir Yaramir's friends guarding the fortress against the bandits in these parts. But there aren't half a lot of them, sir. Day and night they come and go, and there never was that many men-at-arms here, long as I can remember. Oh, shit. I think some guards are coming this way. They mustn't see me, otherwise I'll be for it. Mark my words, sir. Something ain't right here.
I knew something was going on here. There's too much that just doesn't add up. It's important now, however, that I don't get busted.
Huh? I heard something suspicious here. It would never have occurred to me that it was you, sir. You shouldn't be creeping through the undergrowth like that. Someone might mistake you for a hare and shoot you. And that would be most unfortunate.
Yeah, that would be very unfortunate, wouldn't it?
Thanks for your concern, but I'm fine. I may have the ears of a fox and the eyes of a hawk. I'm nothing like a hare, though.
Well, I've got the nose of a wolf, so watch out. You're an honored guest. You shouldn't be creeping through the undergrowth like some wild boar. All your needs will be taken care of in the fortress, as hospitality demands.
Yeah, I get it. I'm familiar with the routine. Don't ask any questions, shut up, sit down, eat, drink, and play dice with his work. Yeah. So, whoever it is that Hans is having discussions with, it's not Lord Yaramir. And these are not his men-at-arms. Somebody has taken over the castle. And whoever these guys are, they are clearly no friends of Lord von Bergov. If they get the slightest idea that I know that they're not who they say they are, we're not getting out of here alive. Might be a good idea to not let Hans know, because if he found out, I guarantee he would also find a way to fuck it up for both of us. This is, yeah. This is a tricky spot I found myself in, and no mistake. Join me in the next episode to find out if me and Hans are going to make it out here alive. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this one. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.